Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge promises us a martial arts tournament complete with an undead specter out for revenge. Let's talk about the complicated relationship between Sub-Zero and Scorpion and how this could all play out. Plenty of us have fond memories of playing the Mortal Kombat video games, but how much do you really know about why all those characters were so intent on pummeling one another? If you were just caught up on those amazing finishing moves, I don't blame you, but let's dig a little bit deeper here, It's safe to say Scorpion had a pretty compelling reason for wanting to turn Sub-Zero into a fine red mist, and I can't imagine his feelings toward him will have improved in Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. I mean, the name alone is a pretty big hint, or at least it seems that way. Scorpion's real name is Hanzo Hasashi, or at least it was when he was alive. Oh yeah, did I mention that he's undead? Because that's a pretty important part of the story and frankly makes me question the rules of this whole tournament if you don't even have to be alive to compete. Hanzo joined the ninja clan Shirai Ryu in order to provide a better life for his family, but as you can probably guess, it didn't work out that well. His clan was attacked by their rivals, the Lin Kuei, and they were absolutely decimated. Scorpion met his end at the hands of one particular member of the Shirai Ryu named Bi-Han, an assassin who you might know better as Sub-Zero. Destroying Scorpion aside, Bi-Han wasn't a particularly nice guy. He was incredibly powerful, and years of working as an assassin didn't help improve his naturally cold disposition. Being an assassin doesn't do much for your social life, and don't even get me started on the lack of health benefits. Anyway, as you can imagine, being sent to the Netherrealm gave Hanzo time to reflect on his life, and he decided that he really wanted to get revenge on Sub-Zero. It wasn't a particularly woke revelation, but hey, that's what we're working with here. So he came back with a vengeance and some upgraded fighting abilities thanks to the sorcerer Quan Chi. This is just the beginning of their, let's say, difficult relationship, but it isn't enough to let you know why Scorpion isn't Sub-Zero's biggest fan, to say the least. Other than the whole undead wraith thing, Scorpion's desire for revenge against Sub-Zero is one of his most notable characteristics, and will surely come into play in Scorpion's Revenge. If not, they may want to rethink the title. In the trailer, we saw Hanzo fighting against Sub-Zero and, spoiler alert, he didn't win. Then Quan Chi offers him a Get Out of the Netherrealm free card in order to compete in a martial arts tournament. It's not the most compelling reason to get furloughed, but apparently it's enough for Hanzo, especially when he finds out that Sub-Zero is going to be competing. So he decides to come back with a vengeance and a new name, Scorpion. Sounds pretty straightforward, but there are some complications from the source material that may come into play when we see the movie. Even though Sub-Zero was a vicious, emotionless assassin, Scorpion does have some morals and values he tries to live by. Well, maybe live by is a little confusing, since he's kind of undead, but you know what I mean. Once he's revived and chock full of new powers, you might think that he'd make a beeline to Sub-Zero and pull out all the stops to take him down. But that's just not his style. He might be an undead wraith determined to get revenge, but he does have some morals. In the comics, Scorpion explains that as much as he'd love to get his revenge, he doesn't want to flat out destroy Sub-Zero outside of the tournament. Scorpion's moral code makes it totally cool to commit unspeakable acts to someone's bones in the ring. He believes doing so outside of the tournament would make him a criminal no better than Sub-Zero. Yeah, there might be a few flaws in that logic, but we all have our own seemingly nonsensical convictions we must abide by. Like Nick Fury not eating diagonal toast, Scorpion won't blindside Sub-Zero outside of the tournament. I think this particular aspect of his morality will feature heavily into the movie's storyline. After all, it's clearly not just a feature-length one-on-one Sub-Zero versus Scorpion match. That'd be pretty sweet though. Yes! If you check out its IMDb page, you might notice something interesting about the cast. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that Joel McHale is providing the voice for Johnny Cage.
I don't have an ego. My Facebook photo is a landscape.
Steve Bloom, who also voiced Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, is listed as voicing both Sub-Zero and a character named Kuai Liang. Who's that? Oh, just the other Sub-Zero. Yes, as if having one vicious assassin in the mix wasn't enough, there is a second Sub-Zero who just so happens to be the younger brother of Bi-Han. After Scorpion gets his revenge and sends Bi-Han to the Netherrealm, Kuai Liang takes on the mantle of Sub-Zero. Based on the IMDb page, it certainly seems like we could see this play out in the movie. Having Kuai as a character could mean that Scorpion's revenge will go far beyond just seeing Scorpion destroy his old nemesis. In Mortal Kombat 2, Scorpion was pretty surprised to run into Sub-Zero, mostly because he was pretty sure he had taken his life during their last meeting. But he later realized that this particular contestant was the younger brother of that Sub-Zero, and unlike his sibling, he's not inherently evil. This meeting is obviously a little bit awkward and has quite the effect on Scorpion. Suddenly, his moral rationalizing of his fights could be a good thing. A less level-headed resurrected warrior might not worry about that kind of minor detail, and consider any act of wrath against someone named Sub-Zero justified. But in the game, Scorpion not only doesn't annihilate Kuai Liang, but he feels kinda bad about destroying his brother and believes this obligates him to help out the new Sub-Zero. Told you it was complicated. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see something like this play out in the movie. Scorpion's revenge could be trying to lead us in the wrong direction and make us assume that a grudge match involving Scorpion and Bi-Han will be the primary conflict here. And really, it's not hard to get caught up in the promises of extreme violence and bad language, coupled with the childhood nostalgia many of us have for the franchise. We all want to see Scorpion enact his revenge on Bi-Han for destroying his family, but let's not lose sight of the much more significant threat of Shao Kahn. In the trailer, it's revealed that if he wins the tournament, it'll be bad news for our heroes, not to mention the rest of the world. This suddenly makes the conflict between Scorpion and Sub-Zero look pretty minor in comparison. In the comics, Scorpion was able to put his differences with Bi-Han aside temporarily in order to defend against Shang Tsung's army. Well, very temporarily since he destroyed Sub-Zero afterwards, but still. There was a truce for a brief period of time. And since it certainly seems like the tournament is going to go sideways, everyone's gonna have to work together in order to save the day. Since Scorpion has proven that he can work with Bi-Han, getting along with his much less insidious brother should be a lot easier. In addition to all the fighting, which we know will happen, I'm guessing there will be a lesson in here about revenge. After all, when Bi-Han perishes, it's not going to bring Scorpion's family back or restore the lives he took. It's an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind kind of thing. Sure, it might feel good to impale someone with a kunai, but it's not long-lasting happiness. Forming an alliance, if not a friendship, with Kuai Liang might actually do a lot more to soothe Scorpion's spirit than getting the chance to destroy Bi-Han. Don't get me wrong, I don't think all the characters are gonna end up sitting around the campfire singing songs, roasting marshmallows, and talking about their feelings, but it wouldn't hurt to have a little depth in the movie. It's possible that Scorpion will realize that taking out Bi-Han doesn't satisfy him and will choose to work together with his brother. Scorpion and Sub-Zero have been in the franchise since the beginning and have appeared in every single generation of Mortal Kombat games. They started out looking pretty similar, and eventually they evolved as their stories did. The drama between them is legendary, and one of the reasons they've accumulated so many fans over the years. They're two of the most popular characters in the franchise, so it's not surprising that they'll be heavily featured in this film. But are we going to have this classic battle rehashed in Scorpion's Revenge, or does Kuai Liang's involvement mean that we can expect something more? I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Kuai Liang in a more prominent role in the movie. I'm sure Bi-Han will meet his end, and it seems like a pretty safe bet that Scorpion will have something to do with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these old rivals fighting against each other with everything they've got, but if Kuai Liang is at the tournament, it could be because he takes on the mantle of Sub-Zero. And if that's the case, then he potentially has a major role to play. In fact, Bi-Han being defeated is an important part of his story, and could add quite the twist to Scorpion's revenge. Because much like poor Hanzo Hasashi, he also ends up coming back from the great beyond. After meeting his end at the hands of Scorpion, he ended up in the Netherrealm, only to be later resurrected by Quan Chi. Apparently, he's always down there scoping out talent and messing with Netherrealm's numbers. Bi-Han wasn't known for being a nice guy when he was alive, and visiting the Netherrealm and losing everything that made him human didn't help matters. He ends up coming back as Noob Saibot, who's completely evil through and through. He has his sights set on conquering the Netherrealm and isn't above working alongside questionable characters in order to do so, including Shao Kahn. Seeing Kuai Liang and Scorpion fight against Shao Kahn together in Scorpion's Revenge would not only give us an amazing battle, but it could help establish a deeper connection between the characters. They could have something positive to bond over, instead of focusing on the whole late brother, family-destroying revenge thing. Scorpion and the new Sub-Zero have a bit of a complicated history, but that doesn't mean they can't get past it and become allies, if not friends. BFFs, maybe? But as much as I'd like to see that relationship develop, I'd also like to see a massive wrench thrown in there in the form of Bi-Han coming back to work with Shao Kahn. Kuai Liang and Scorpion fighting together against Shao Kahn is a no-brainer, since it's in their best interests. But if it means fighting against Bi-Han, then it would be interesting to see where Kuai Liang's loyalty would end up. Would brotherly love prevail, or would Scorpion's new ally remain by his side?
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
It would definitely be an interesting conundrum, and one that would undoubtedly take a lot of punching, yelling, and other quality Mortal Kombat techniques I can't describe on this family-friendly YouTube channel. After all, wouldn't having Kuai Liang help him defeat Bi-Han again really be the ultimate revenge? Scorpion's Revenge is the first animated addition to the franchise since the series Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm all the way back in 1996. Fans have waited a long time for this, so it's not surprising that the story will involve two of the most popular characters. But involving Kuai Liang could add an extra layer to the story, or potentially set up more movies or shows to come out later. Mortal Kombat fans definitely can't get enough of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, so if things go well, Scorpion's Revenge could be the beginning.
Get over here!
I'd love to add a heaping helping of awkwardness on top of this classic grudge match by showing Scorpion and the new Sub-Zero facing off against Bi-Han together. Share your predictions for Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge in the comments section, and don't forget to click on subscribe for more from CBR. Bye for now.